everybody, welcome to my channel, Niddleman. Again, I have a guest star, my wife Brianna.
Hello.
We just saw the movie Suicide Squad. It's actually the second time I saw it. I didn't do a review last week though, so this is coming out a little bit late, so hopefully you're still watching it. Basically, this movie stars Will Smith, Margot Robbie, Jared Leto, a whole bunch of people. Basically, it's about a movie of a bunch of criminals that are put together in this team, the Suicide Squad, to basically go out and do things that the U.S. can't be known to do, so they can kind of be like Fall Guys at the same time. So, what did you think about it?
I absolutely love this movie. I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So I love this movie. I love Harley Quinn. She does so good in this movie. I also love Jared Leto's character. He pulled it off so well. Will Smith kind of is his usual kind of character, tough guy. You know, he's able to pull off roles like that. So just the chemistry between the entire crew on this movie, or cast on this movie, was extremely good. So it was believable in the moment for me while I was in the theater. I loved it. Good soundtrack too. I love the soundtrack. Lots of great action.
And for me, I would agree on the main point that I think the chemistry between all of the cast is great. It seemed like there was a bunch of characters in this movie though, and they were really only able to go in depth with a few of them, such as Will Smith, Harley Quinn, and maybe the El Diablo guy. Beyond that, all the characters were just kind of there, but you didn't get a whole lot of character depth on them, like Slipknot, who wasn't in it very long. The Gator Croc, whatever his name was, he really only had a couple lines in the entire movie. So this is really a Will Smith, Margot Robbie movie, and everyone else is kind of side characters to that. But with that said, like she said, they have a really good chemistry. God damn it.
Jared Leto was more on a, I don't know, like almost a comedic level, I guess, but it wasn't as scary as Heath Ledger. Like Heath Ledger's one was extremely freaked me out.
You just reminded me. I will say I also liked Jared Leto's Joker in this movie. It is definitely a completely different take than every other Joker before him. Yeah. Now, when you said comedic, it reminded me there's actually a scene in there where he said something that I swear to God it sounded like Jim Carrey. He might as well have said "Alrighty then," but like there's a couple of scenes in there where it almost sounded like he was doing a Jim Carrey impression. Yeah. But it was almost more like Heath Ledger's Joker was almost like a horror villain with like scars on his face and he was real scary and like psychopathic. Whereas this Joker is almost more of like a crime boss, like a kingpin to a mafia group or something.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of how I saw him too.
He's more like clean cut and has like rings and tattoos and necklaces and stuff. So his take is very different, but I did like it. I liked his laugh. And I think he's a good new Joker, but he really wasn't in it nearly as much as like Heath Ledger's was, so it's really kind of hard to compare them. Now, as far as the storyline itself, for me, while I liked the chemistry of the cast and everything, I thought the mission that they were put on was kind of cliche and lackluster, kind of just like, there's a big light in the sky. It's like the same thing Ghostbusters did, and there's a bunch of henchmen that are easily dispatched of, and they're just kind of there, and there's a lot of plot holes where, like, you know, if they just did this one thing, they could have destroyed the villain real easily, or the villain could have dispatched of these guys real easily, but it's a movie, so nobody ever does the smart
things. See, I don't get that technical. I'm not like, oh my God, like, did you see that plot hole over there? No, I'm more like, oh my God, did you see how sweet that was?
The interesting thing is that even though these guys are all bad guys technically, you can almost sympathize with them the way they do it. And they make Amanda Waller, I think her name is, who's the one that put the Suicide Squad together. She's almost a villain in the movie. Because the things she does, I'm just like, man, she's almost evil herself.
Kind of messed up.
Yeah, she's kind of messed up. Now, with that said, though, it makes me, one of the least favorite characters I had in this movie was Rick Flag, who's kind of like the Marine guy. And the reason I didn't like him is because he's given so much shit to these Suicide Squad members like Deadshot, like, oh yeah, you're just a hitman who, you know, kills people for money. But then he watches Amanda Waller do things that are horrible, and he's just like, yeah, whatever, you get used to it.
He loved her.
Amanda Waller, he didn't love her. That's Amanda Waller.
I'm talking about he loves the who's that girl? Sophia.
Don't spoil it. It's not for them to know.
Oh. I think all in all, this movie is awesome. It had my attention the entire time. We even stayed after the credits to watch a scene that was super important, which I feel like is going to lead into the next thing, which has a special guest. So don't forget to wait until after the credits roll to see who the special guest is. And then And then, yeah, so there's a lot of cool things in here. Chris said there's a plot hole. I didn't pay enough attention. I knew what he was talking about,
You never pay enough attention to notice plot holes. For those of you
they
that...
offered food at this theater. That's why.
So really, if you're looking for a movie that's just entertaining, you'll laugh, possibly feel some emotions, but don't really care so much about plot holes and stuff, you're going to love this movie. So that's why I'm giving it a Friends with Benefits. This is the type of movie I could probably watch 1 billion times and just, dump my brain for a little bit and be entertained. And what about you?
I would give this movie girlfriend material. I would give this movie girlfriend material because it's more up my alley. It's just a movie I liked a little bit more. There's not any... It's not super crazy, bloody, gory, like that kind of craziness in the movie, but it's like there's definitely some good action. I love a good soundtrack. I love a movie that can keep me engaged, and it did the entire time. It was never slow for me at any moment. I felt like all the characters connected well, so I would give this movie marriage material.
Marriage material? That's the best rating there is. Damn.
My mom brain got me. What was I saying? I give this movie girlfriend material.
So you've given it Friends with Benefits, girlfriend material, and marriage material all in one review. Dang. So if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. Remember to like the video and stay tuned for some more movie reviews if you can handle it. Go.